Hello everyone, welcome to this NPTEL lecture series on charging infrastructure, and in this lecture, which is lecture number 4, we will discuss some of the EV charger types which are there and its nomenclature, some of the standards which they have been following, in which standards they have been included, all those things we will study in this particular lecture, this one. So in the last class we have discussed about what is a building block in a DC charger, what is, we have DC VSC, we have EV. In the DC VSC we have the entire power conversion which is taking place, and that is why, since the entire power conversion is taking place inside the DC VSC, a lot of information from the vehicle, because our batteries are kept on the vehicle and it has the BMS which actually keeps on monitoring its status. So, that has to be continuously communicated to the EVSE or electrical supply equipment, and then supply equipment has to respond to that particular request from the EV, particularly from the BMS, and then accordingly they have to adopt to that request which has been done by the BMS. So, they require a dedicated communication channel, and the communication, since a lot of continuous stream of data has to be shared between the EVSC and EV, they follow the high level communication which is done via PLC. In some cases, for example, in CCS2 they follow CCS2 charging system, they follow PLC. In some of the charging system they follow CAN communication. CAN communication, which is control area network communication, and PLC means power line communication. And if you look very carefully, the output DC which we are getting in there, that is basically controlled DC, or you can say that the voltage and current is as per the voltage and current demanded by the vehicle controller. And on the other side, the EVSC controller, which is also sometimes called as a supply equipment communication controller, communicates with the central management system, or you can say charging station, which is provided by the charging station provider, to basically help the charging station service provider to basically do the metering, monitoring of the DC VSCs, and different other logging purposes, understanding the user behavior, and then try to incorporate several offers provided to the user. So in total we have, in case of DC charging, we have DC VSC, which comprises of power conversion unit, which has the rectifier and DC-DC converters and safety interlocks like relays, contactors. Then you also do a lot of insulation monitoring, you do a lot of temperature monitoring of the DC VSC systems, and those things will be communicated via supply equipment communication controller, which does communication with the vehicle via dedicated communication channel, that is mostly done using PLC and CAN communication, and on the other side they do communication with the CMS system. So, this is how the DC charging system takes place. Now, let us try to understand what is there in public charging station. Now, this we are talking about from the broader perspective. Let us say this is a public charging station, and in this we have several EVSCs which are being installed. For example, EVSC 1, EVSC 2 and so on, EVSC N. And this EVSC could be either having single charging gun or double charging gun. It could be single charging gun or it could be double charging gun, depending upon what kind of EVSCs you are installing. It could be AC EVSCs or it could be DC EVSCs. So, EVSC could be AC or DC EVSC. For example, if you are having just the AC charger, you put the AC EVSC. If you wanted to have the DC charger, you will put DC EVSC. At the same time, you will have either single charging gun, or you can say the plug which goes and plugged into the vehicle inlet connector. So, that is one charging gun, or it could have two charging gun, or it could have multiple charging gun, depending upon what kind of EVSCs which has been there. Mostly if you see, it is single charging gun or dual charging gun charging station systems are there. There are some thing where you will also see 3 charging socket, where one can 3 charging socket in EVSC, which can be connected via vehicle via a wire which is coming from the vehicle in some cases, but mostly EVSCs have a single charging gun or dual charging gun. Now, in this one there are certain, you have this AC grid which is coming in. Mostly, this charging station will have its own, you can say, transformer which is been there. dedicated for this entire charging station. Then it will have its own switchgear systems, for safe operation of this EVSEs, like circuit breakers or relays which has been kept in. And then this line which will be going to different EVSEs, depending upon if there is generally 33 kV or 11 kV line will be coming in. Mostly 3-phase supply will be coming in, and then again it depends on local power system architecture and local transmission and distribution companies. And then depending upon what is the EVSE input requirements, the conversion of voltage levels are taking place. Mostly it is 400 volt 3-phase AC. So each public charging station will have its own switchgear systems installed within itself. Further, the public charging station must also have, sometimes they have within them they have the center management system, or sometimes if the charging station service provider is having multiple charging stations, so they could have a single master center management system placed in the central facility, or they could be one possibility center management system for each charging station. So they will be connected with each EVSEs via a communication line, and all the EVSEs will be communicating with the center management system to log the required data and to ensure the proper operation of this charging station. And in this particular thing, the EVSEs could be from different manufacturers. Similarly, the center management system could be there from different manufacturer. So there also the communication between them, there also they should follow a certain kind of standard where they have to ensure the proper operation of charging station. Further, there should be a proper distance between the EVSEs such that the vehicle entry and exit can be possible with that. And in India, the EVSE requirements are defined in AIS 138 Part 1 for conductive AC charging system, Part 2 for conductive DC charging system. And this AIS 138 is from ARAI India. Further, local government bodies and distribution companies will mandate the guidelines related to public charging stations, and one need to follow those guidelines while installing the public charging stations. In India, already the guidelines have been released by the government. So if someone wants to put in the charging station, they have to follow those guidelines while ensuring the proper operation of charging station. So after understanding DC VSC, AC VSC and charging station, let us try to understand one by one the different classifications and different nomenclature which exist in this EV charging ecosystem. So the first classification which will be done is based upon the mode of charging. So the mode of charging could be 4 modes: mode 1, mode 2, mode 3. These all modes are AC for AC charging, and this is for the DC charging. Now if you look very carefully, the mode 1 is the simplistic thing where you are just plugging in a wire from the 5 ampere or 15 ampere home socket, from 5 ampere or 15 ampere home socket which has been there in your home. So it is primarily for home charging, where you have the onboard charger which actually does the required power conversion from AC to DC. And inside the electric vehicle you have the onboard charger. This is primarily, if you look very carefully, this I have written down, this is primarily for AC charger and for home charging, which is generally home charging have a limited power rating it can support. So they are basically, you can say, overnight charging of vehicle, or you can say slow charging of vehicle which has been there. Then comes the mode 2 charging. In mode 2 charging you again have 5 ampere or 15 ampere wall socket. Along with that you have something, some control unit is there with the integrated protection systems like RCD, residual current devices protection, which will be incorporated in that. So it is like again for home charging, because it is from 5 ampere or 15 ampere wall socket. So it is from home charging, but in this portable charger is incorporated with RCD protection arrangements, and thus it will have some kind of control as well as protection. Then you have a mode 3 charging. If you look very carefully, mode 3 charging. In the mode 3 charging you have a dedicated EVSE, and particularly this is for AC charging system. It is having a dedicated AC EVSE which has been there, and this dedicated EVSE with a specific electric vehicle supply equipment having a specific connector which are being installed either in the charging station or it could be installed in the home also, because these are these EVSEs are not bigger EVSEs. So again this is for AC chargers. Similarly, if you see the mode 4 charging, in the mode 4 charging it is primarily for the DC charging with a dedicated DC EVSE which is being installed. Mostly it is for the charging station, because generally the DC charging systems are, the DC VSCs are bigger in size, because your power conversion unit is actually a high power conversion unit. So these are generally for high power this one, and since a lot of dedicated communication is there, you require a dedicated EVSE, so that dedicated EVSE systems are being there. So this is primarily for DC chargers. So these are the ways by which the different modes of EV charging will be taking place, and the different charging systems are defined as mode 1, mode 2, mode 3, mode 4. These mode 3 and mode 4 are primary for charging station where you have a dedicated EVSEs which are been there, and do communication with this central management system which are been installed by charging station service provider. So this is how the modes of charging are being classified. Now let us see, depending upon the different power levels of EV charger, how the charging levels are being classified. Now this is based on the power levels, and it varies from country to country, because different countries have different voltage levels of transmission and distribution system. So that is why this power level varies from country to country. So in India, let us see how the charging levels are being defined. Now they are being defined as level 1, level 2, level 3 for AC and DC system. Now let us see the level 1 AC charging level. Now it has the voltage level 230 volt and the power level which goes maximum up to 3.5 kilowatt, which is nothing but you will get it when you multiply 230 volt multiplied by 15, you will get the value somewhere around 3450 watt, which is within the maximum 3.5 kilowatt range. Now for the DC charging for level 1, you will have voltage level which is greater than 48 volt and goes up to 72 volt, and which will have the power level maximum up to 15 kilowatt. Generally this is there for the system which can support up maximum up to 200 ampere. So this will give you 72 volt time multiplied by 200, which is somewhere around 14,400. Similarly, when you see the level 2 charging level is for AC system, it will have the voltage level going from 380 volt to 400 volt, and the power level goes maximum up to 22 kilowatt. So when you have the system with this up to maximum up to 22 kilowatt, you can classify that charging level as the level 2 AC charging system. Similarly, let us see the level 3. Now the level 3 AC charging system, it is employed with a voltage level going from 200 to 1000 and the power level greater than 22 kilowatt. And when we see the level 3 DC charging system, it has the voltage level going from 200 to 1000 volt, and the power level goes maximum up to 400 kilowatt, mostly in the same range, greater than 22 kilowatt to up to going up to 400 kilowatt. So this is what you will see. You have the level 1 for AC and DC, which has the different voltage levels and the power levels which are been defined. You have level 2 for AC, which has the power level and voltage level which have been defined, and similarly you have the level 3 for AC and DC, which has the voltage and the power level which are been defined, and it is primary from Indian perspective, because different countries will have different voltage levels of transmission and distribution. So this charging level, this power level of this charging will vary from country to country. Now since we have understood the modes of charging, we understood the levels of charging, now let us see what are the different charging plugs which are been there, charging plug and vehicle inlet connectors which are been there, and what all standards are defining those particular systems. And First we will see for the AC and then we will move to DC. In AC, the first and foremost thing, it come up with the AC type 1, which was originated from US, primarily because they have the single phase or dual phase AC distribution system. So they come up with a system which can support this single phase AC charging. And when a lot of manufacturers come up with their electric vehicle, so they understood the requirement for the interportability, and that is why the SAE sit together and they come up with this AC type 1 charger socket. Now in this you have two AC pins, if you see two AC power pins, L1 and then neutral if in case they are using single phase, if they are using two phase split phase, so it is L1 and L2. And for signals, or you can say for the communication, they have the control pilot and proximity pilot, and they have the power earth, or you can say power, or you can more precisely you can say protective earth pin to take care of the in case if there is some safety related issue comes up. So this particular type 1 charger, it uses SAE J1772 signaling protocol for communication, which is the PWM based protocols, PWM based communication protocol, and it is sometimes also called as the low level communication. And primarily because this is the AC charging system, so you are actually doing power conversion inside the vehicle, so you need not to send the battery status to the EVSE regularly. So that is why this signaling protocol is good enough to manage those essential communication between EV and EVSEs. It is primarily originated in US, and other parts of the world like Japan is using them, and it is popularly known as SAE J1772 connector, type 1 connector, or Yazaki connector, because it was first manufactured by a company named Yazaki. Both are the charger plug, I mean the plug which is coming out of the charging gun, and the vehicle inlet connector, both are counterpart to each other when they get mated up. So I mean the pins are actually connected in a proper manner, and the form factors are uniform. Now if you look very carefully, since CP and PP, which is control pilot and proxy pilot, does the communication, so the size of pins are smaller as compared to the power pins where the actual power is been flowing from the charger. So that is why you can see the dimensions of that is also changes. Now if you see, the AC type 1 supports single phase AC charging, but when we go for high power level, 3 phase AC charging is required, and hence International Electrotechnical Commission sit together and they come up with new charger connector, which is also called as the AC type 2 connector. Now if you look very carefully, AC type 2 connector, the AC type 2 charger plug has the L1, L2, L3 and neutral connection. So it supports both a 3 phase and single phase AC charging. Mostly it is for high power 3 phase, for low power single phase. And it is also called as a Mennekes connector because it was the Mennekes company which makes this connector, first time they make the connector. And all these connector specifications like form factor, size of this power pins, size of this communication pins are defined in the IEC 62196 standard. And although they support 3 phase AC system, they use the signaling protocol same as that of type 1, which is SAE J1772, which is based on the PWM based communication to inform some of the status of EV and EVSE, and it is been adopted in Europe, UK, India primarily for high voltage proportional system which uses high voltage batteries like 400 volt battery pack or 800 volt battery pack. So they used this AC type 2 charger plug and vehicle inlet connector, and the rest of the world except China, Japan and US, because US and Japan uses type 1 and we will see what China uses. So there if you look very carefully, this is your neutral, this is your L3, this is your L2, this is your L1, this is your protective earth pin, and if you look, this is your CP and this is your PP pin. So if you look, the dimensions of other pins like L1, L2, L3 and neutral is bigger as compared to CP and PP, because over CP and PP line it is the communication which is taking place, while the L1, L2, L3 or neutral, the power is actually flowing between them. So, this is what AC type 2 is there, and it supports the 3 phase as compared to the AC type 1 which only supports the single phase. Then comes China. In China they uses GBT, which is coming formulated by Gaobiao Standardization Commission. From China they uses the separate charger plug, which is consists of two signal pin, which is CP and CC, control palette and charging confirmation pin. So, they use the CP and CC, and they use the L1, L2, L3 and neutral. Here also it is CC, and it also supports both the single phase and 3 phase AC, and the connector specification is given in like the form factor, the size of the pins are given in GBT 20234.2 standard. So, this is things which is been used in China, and in India with more and more vehicles coming up with electric powertrain. So, the Department of Heavy Industry Government of India decided to have the standard for AC charging. That is when they come together and they come up with the AC 001 charging system, where they use the IEC 60309 industrial plug connector, which has the female plug on the EVSE, and it has the male plug which comes from the EV via cable. So, the cable which gets plugged into it, and the EVSE which has been there for AC 001 EVSE, if you see, they have 3 type of this connector which has been there. It is female plug on the EVSE female plug, female part of IEC 60309 plug will be there, 3 will be there, and these are all independent plugs and they all support single phase. If you look, the pin are line, neutral and protective earth. So, in this one it supports 3 independent output. So, each output can support up to 3.3 kilowatt. So, overall it support maximum, so overall EVSE support maximum up to 10 kilowatt. And in this case there is no communication which will be there between EV and EVSE. So, there is no communication between EV and EVSE and this charger plug which is connected to, there is no communication between them. However, there is a communication between EVSE and central management system, and that is done via OCPP protocol, which is Open Charge Point Protocol. They have different versions. However, this charging system supports version greater than OCPP 1.5. Again, the input is same 3 phase 415 volt and output is 3 single phase which is going into the vehicle. So, this is the simplest charging system. It was there to support the interpretability of the charging EVs. Now, these are mostly used in early models of car having the low voltage system, early models of 3-wheeler EVs, the golf carts and those systems, very early models. However, the scenario changes as we go along, and a lot of AC type 2 come in, then the IS standard came in. So, different kind of standard have came in. So, but this was still there, still in existence in India. So, that is why this was the AC charging system which was there in India, primarily for early model cars and 3-wheelers having the low voltage battery. So, they have their onboard chargers on the vehicle which can convert the required DC power to the system. Then let us take the DC charger plugs and vehicle inlet connectors, because in the DC charger plug we have a dedicated communication which is done via either PLC power line communication or control leader network communication system. Now, the first one is DC CHAdeMO, which is adopted in Japan, and it was the initiative by Japanese manufacturer, and you can see it is one of the early DC charging systems which was came into existence. Different companies like Fuji Heavy Industries Limited, Toyota, Nissan, Tokyo Electric Power Company, Mitsubishi, they came together and they come up with the standard for DC charging system, which is commonly called as a CHAdeMO, and within the CHAdeMO standard all the communication related things and the connectors related things are being defined, and this CHAdeMO was adopted in different countries. I mean, in their local standardization bodies adopted things from CHAdeMO to actually also support the CHAdeMO DC charging system. It uses dedicatedly uses CAN communication, and it is used primarily for DC charging. So, it does not support AC charging, it only supports the DC charging. So, it has a DC plus, DC minus line, it has the charge start and stop thing, it has a CAN high, CAN low pins, it has charge enable disable pin, and this is the no connection pin you have. So, it supports up to 500 volt to 125 ampere. It was the first generation standard. The second generation have also come up with 1000 volt and 400 ampere. So, again these standards are keep on modifying, getting modified, the current levels have been modifying, the voltage levels have been modifying, but it supports only DC, it supports only DC charging. That was the problematic thing, because one has to install CHAdeMO vehicle inlet connector to facilitate the DC charging, and also either type 1 or type 2 vehicle inlet connector to support the AC charging. So, that was the biggest bottleneck, and that is why people thought of why can't we have the combined charging system where we just use one vehicle inlet connector, and with one vehicle inlet connector we can support both AC as well as DC charging. That is why the CCS 1 and CCS 2 came into existence. Now, the combined charging system 1, in the combined charging system it supports both AC type 1 charging system and the DC charging. How it does, let us see that. If you look very carefully, the vehicle inlet connector, it has L1, L2, control palette, proximity palette, protective earth. So, if you look this one, this top part of vehicle inlet connector, the top part of vehicle inlet connector can accommodate type 1 charger plug. So, just by using the top portion one can support the AC charging, while if one has to do the DC charging using CCS1 vehicle inlet connector, then they will be plugging the CCS1 charger plug, DC charger plug, which consists of DC plus, DC minus, and then in the top portion these two L1 and L2 pins were not there, only the proximity palette, control palette and protective earth is there. So, then this will go and gets plugged it onto this one. So, the entire part will be used where the L1 and L2 pins will be there will not be any electrical connection, and the entire thing will be used to facilitate the DC charging. So, what happens is that just by using single vehicle inlet connector, one can support both AC, which is AC type 1, it can support both AC type 1 charger plug as well as the DC CCS1 charger plug, and that is why the inventory for the EV manufacturers or for the OEMs get reduced, because they have to just install just one connector which can support both AC and DC charging. So, that is the reason why this got a lot of traction, and that is why it got incorporated by IEC in 2629196, and primarily because since in US and in Japan type 1 AC charging plug was there, that is why CCS1 have come into existence. It uses PLC communication, which is power line communication for DC charging, and the PWM signaling, which is following same SAE J1772. Here in the power line communication, when they are doing the power line communication for DC charging, the communication standard will be given in ISO 15118 or DIN spec 70121, or in ISO 15118 the high level communication protocols are defined, and in IEC 61851 aspect related to different charging stages, charging states and sequences are included. Thus, these standards define protocols for doing high level communication, because a lot of information need to be exchanged while doing the communication. And they when they are doing the AC charging, it is SAE J1772. So, just by using one vehicle inlet connector, both the AC and DC charging can be done, and it is used in US, Japan the two countries where they have been used very much, because they have the AC type 1 charging system available. So it's the US and in Japan they are being used. Then comes the DC CCS2. Since the US and Japan using the type 1 AC charger plug, so while the rest of the world is using AC type 2, because they can support 3-phase AC system. So that's why there comes the necessity where to have the vehicle inlet connector which can support both AC type 2 and DC charging, or which can support both the AC and DC charging, and that is why the combined charging system 2 has come into picture. If you look very carefully, it has the same thing. If you look the top portion of that, it has the same L1, L2, L3 and neutral pins, control palette, proximity palette on the vehicle inlet connector. So using this, one can plug the AC type 2 connector and do the AC charging. It can accommodate AC type 2 connector and can facilitate the AC charging. While whenever if someone wants to do the DC charging, they will be using the DC CCS2 charger plug, which looks like it has only control palette, proximity palette, protective earth and DC plus and DC minus line. So whenever they got into this charger plug, and so the entire thing will be used where there is no connection for L1, L2, L3 and neutral, and that is when this system will actually support the DC charging. Suppose the DC CCS2 charging. So facilitate DC charging. If you look carefully, the actual charger plug looks like, the plug which is coming from the EVSE will have only this thing, where this is control palette, proximity palette, and this is a protective earth, this is DC plus and this is DC minus, which actually got which will be covered over here. So it has this one will be the PP, this one will be the CP, and this is L1, L2, L3 neutral, which is they have pin on the vehicle side, but on the connector side there is no pin. So this will be there, which will just go into this but will not make any electrical connections. It has also a protective earth, and then you have a DC minus connector goes into this, and you have DC plus connector which goes into it, and that is when you will see that it supports this part can able to accommodate AC type 2 connector, and the entire part can able to accommodate the this bottom DC plus DC minus connection, and CP and PP and protective earth will able to support the DC CCS2 charging system. So with just one connector, with just one vehicle inlet connector, so you are what you can say the inventory for the EV manufacturers got reduced. So with just one vehicle inlet connector, one can support both AC and DC charging, and that is the reason why this charging system got quite famous among different manufacturers. And in India, mostly this CCS2 charging system is being used for high voltage propulsion system, which has the high voltage battery, and it can support maximum up to 1000 volt, and the current level will vary, means maximum it can support to 500 ampere, and you will find up to 400 kilowatt CCS2 charging system is been there. However, commercially power level going up to 50 to 60 kilowatt is available with 2 charging guns, with each charging gun supports up to 30 kilowatt. Here the communication is done via PLC for DC charging, and that is done via high level communication which is been incorporated in ISO 15118 and the IEC 161851, which defines different charging stages, and we have DIN spec 70121 which is there in Germany. In India, ISO 15118 is being incorporated by Bureau of Indian Standards to facilitate DC charging system via CCS2 charging systems. Further, the IEC 61851 includes different charging states, sequences and stages of charging which the system has to follow. And in India, it is been included in AIS 38, which is automotive standard, Indian standard 138 part 2, which supports the DC charging system. However, in India, since the CHAdeMO and the DC CSS2 is been there, it is been incorporated in BIS standard also as IS 17017-2 hyphen 3. This plug socket information is been there, which has both CCS2 and CHAdeMO, which is been there. So this AIS 138 include the detailed instructions about the charging system. However, the ISBI standard takes the overall, or you can say the from the broader perspective, the charging system what goes in, or broader requirements or broader framework, you can say. So all those things will be determined in these different standards in India. Mostly in India, the DC CCS2 charging system is used to support the charging the high voltage battery system for a high voltage powertrain or high performance powertrain, you can say. Then as in China it was AC GBT connector, so you will also have the DC counterpart. It originates from China. It has, it supports only DC plus and DC minus. Along with that, you have S plus and S minus for communication, CAN high and CAN low. Basically CAN low part is there. Then you have auxiliary supply is there. So this is A plus and this A minus is for auxiliary supply. This is actually to power the controllers and auxiliary systems involved in charging process. And this is incorporated in, this specification is being incorporated in 20234.3 standard. In that standard, this connector specification has been given. It can support up to 1500 volt and maximum current goes up to 800 ampere. Again, these current ratings will getting updated with newer and newer version of these standards. Now in India, we just like we have AC001, the Department of Heavy Industries also come up with BEVC DC001, which is Bharat Electric Vehicle DC charging system, which is called as a DC001. Now in this, the EVAC will have the input 3-phase AC, which is 3-phase 415 volt, and it support maximum up to 10 kilowatt for 48 volt system and 15 kilowatt for 72 volt system. Mostly it supports up to 200 ampere for 48 volt system. Here also it support maximum up to 200 ampere, which corresponds to nearly 15 kilowatt for 72 volt battery system and 10 kilowatt for 48 volt battery system. So it is primarily being used for low voltage battery system, because in India it is the initial 3-wheeler and e-car models which were using low voltage powertrain having 48 to 72 volt batteries, and this they use to charge the batteries. Thus they require dedicated charging system to support fast charging of early 3-wheeler and first generation e-car models, as generally 3-wheelers were commercial vehicles where users do not want to wait for longer period for charging. Hence, Ministry of Heavy Industries in Government of India in 2017 came up with BEVC DC001 standard to support the fast charging of vehicles having low voltage powertrain with the 48 and 72 volt battery packs. Since it is the DC charging system, continuous exchange of information is required, which is done by high level communication following 7 open system interconnection layers. In this, the communication related information is derived from IEC 61851-24, while the application layer is derived from GBT 27930 standard with some modifications related to operating conditions like temperature, humidity, etc. And it also uses GBT standard, which is GBT 20234.3 connector with the standard 5-meter cable, and which has the same thing, and it supports the CAN communication similar to that of the GBT DC. However, GBT DC supports up to 1500 volt, but this specifically in India in used to support the low voltage battery powertrains where you have 48 volt batteries, 72 volt batteries. Manufacturers are also looking for upgrading to 96 volt powertrain. Now in India, for two-wheeler electric vehicles, different manufacturers uses different vehicle connectors and charging systems, mostly using portable chargers, with which interportability of two-wheeler electric vehicle charging system is not possible. Now the interportability is needed to facilitate public charging station, especially for two-wheeler electric vehicles, which can also accommodate three-wheeler electric vehicles, as three-wheeler and two-wheeler electric vehicle uses batteries within the same voltage level, mostly from 48 to 72 volt. That is why Bureau of Indian Standard come up with a new charging system with new connector, which is incorporated in 170 IS 17017-2-6 standard, also called as a type 6 connector, DC type 6 connector, which supports the DC charging of the EV battery. So it looks something like this. If you look the shape of this, it has DC plus, DC minus, it has auxiliary 1 and auxiliary 2 pins, it has communication 1 and communication 2. Basically it is done via, the communication is done via CAN communication, which is given, integrities are being given in IS 17017-25 standard. Here if you see the COM1, it is CAN high, and this is COM2 is CAN low channel will be there, and it supports up to 12 kilowatt power level going up to 120 volt DC. So it is like 120 volt DC and 100 ampere current it can support. So for light electric vehicle having low voltage powertrain, we require a dedicated charging system. So that's why they came up with new charger standards which were defined in IS 17017-2-6, while the communication was incorporated in this one. So one was DC001 and another one was this type 6 DC connectors, which have been incorporated by the BIS standard. Then they also realizes, okay, apart from that we also need the combined charging system. Just like we have combined charging system for high voltage powertrain, why can't we have combined charging system for light electric vehicles? That means the having the low voltage powertrain, or you can say having the low voltage EV batteries. So that's why they come up with a new standard, which is a new charger plug, which was incorporated in IS 17017-2-7 standard, and it supports both AC and DC charging for LEVs, light electric vehicle. The communication is done using CAN communication, which was incorporated in IS 17017-31, and it is also sometimes called as the type 7 connector because it is been incorporated in section 7 of part 2 of IS 17017 standard. It supports up to 12 kilowatt for DC charging of 120 volt, and for AC it supports 240 volt maximum up to 32 ampere it supports. If you look very carefully, this is only supporting single phase charging primarily for two wheelers. If you look very carefully, it has the form factor similar to that of type 2, but it has the pins which are different, which is neutral, live, DC plus, DC minus, a control palette, proximity palette, CAN high and CAN low pins which are being there. So that is why using this they can able to do both AC as well as DC charging. Combined charging system has been there, which is been incorporated in IS 17017 part 2 of IS 17017. So if we see summary of reason wise chargers connectors which are being used in US, you are using the type 1 for AC, CCS1 for DC. They also use CHAdeMO. Also US also have Tesla charger in their ecosystem, which supports both the AC and DC charging of the EVs. However, it is their proprietary connector, and only the EVs from Tesla can be charged using the Tesla chargers. So that is the reason why we did not include discussions related to Tesla charger plug and vehicle inlet connector. In Japan they use type 1 for AC, CHAdeMO for DC. in European market and rest of the you can say world, they are used type 2 and CCS2. In China they use GBT AC and GBT DC, while in India we have a lot of connector systems. We have the AC001, we have both IS 17017-2-7, we have AC type 2 to support the AC charging, we have you can say GBT or you can say DC001, we have the IS 17017-2-7, we have IS 17017-2-7 -6 connectors, we use CCS2 and CHAdeMO. So if you look very carefully, this is primarily for high voltage powertrain or which accommodate high voltage battery. This is, and if you look very carefully, this is primarily for the powertrain which accommodate low voltage batteries. With this kind of connectors and standards, they can support the dedicated charging station for like high voltage batteries. For example, those who are there in 4-wheelers, commercial as well as SUV, and low voltage batteries which are there in 2-wheelers or 3-wheelers. If you look again the summary, CCS, it got originated from US, adopted worldwide. Charging connector is been there in SAEJ 1772 and IEC 62196-2. Communication, it support PLC, and type of charging which is AC and DC. The CHAdeMO, it was originated in Japan and adopted worldwide. Charging connector was CHAdeMO connector. They use PLC CAN communication. They support DC charging. The GBT originated from China and they use a connector which was defined in GBT 20234. Standard communication, they use CAN especially for DC, and they support both AC and DC. In India or in Bharat, we can say we use the connector GBT 20234, IEC 6039, which is DC 001 and AC 001, and we use connectors specification which are given in IS 170172 for AC, and for DC we also use CCS2 charging system which is incorporated in IS 17017-2 section 2. And then we have, they use either CAN or PLC. Suppose they use CCS2, they use PLC as well, and it is AC and DC charging. So in India, if you look very carefully, we have DC 001 and AC 001 standard, which was initiated by Ministry of Heavy Industries. They still coexist. Along with that, we have AIS 138 standard, which is having part 1, part 2. Part 1 for AC charging system, part 2 for DC charging system, which included specification requirement for AC and DC charging system. Particularly, they have also adopted CCS2 charging system. They have incorporated in them. In part 1, they have incorporated type 2 charging system. Part 2 also accommodated CHAdeMO as well. Then comes the BIS standard, which come up with 17017 standard -2, where section their section 2 talks about AC charging system, primarily talking about AC type 2 charging system. Section 3 talks about their DC charging system, which is CHAdeMO and CCS2. Sorry, it is the -3. Further, for light electric vehicle, they have come up with section 6 and section 7. Section 6 for DC low voltage light electric vehicles, section 7 for both AC and DC for light electric vehicles. They have section 24, which includes CAN communication for primarily for supporting CHAdeMO. They have section 25 for CAN communication, and they have also come up with section 31 for CAN communication. This is for type 6, or you can say for light electric vehicle, and this is for type 7 to accommodate both type AC and DC. And then they also accommodated ISO 15118 for supporting the CCS2 communication via PLC in CCS2 things. So this is the scenario in Indian perspective which has been there. Still a lot of things are there which is still in the what you can say transition state. Mostly in India for high voltage battery it is CCS2 for in DC, and AC type 2 for for AC. And the charging stations are in India are primarily having EVSEs which can support this two charging system. And why this has been there? Because mostly we require dedicated charging system for our cars, for four wheelers. For three wheelers they were using DC001, and now it will also coexist with type 6 and type 7, which will actually support the powertrain with the low voltage battery, and here it is powertrain with the high voltage battery. So in one public charging station there could be EVSEs which support charging of EVs with low voltage batteries, and there could be EVSEs which supports charging of EVs with high voltage batteries, primarily for four wheelers. So in this lecture we have seen an overview of different kinds of charging systems and standards which exist in different parts of the world, and we have also discussed particularly what exists in India. Further, in this lecture we have also discussed different kinds of classification as per charging modes and charging levels. However, I would like to emphasize that this EV charging ecosystem is evolving with new technological advancements and amendments in various standards across different countries. So, one need to keep themselves updated. With this, thank you very much for patiently listening to this lecture. We will see you in the next lecture. Thank you.